Uh, Welcome everyone to the 12th session of our cost webinar series. I'm delighted to have you all with us today for another exciting and insightful presentation. This session features Professor Dr. Patricia Rijo from University of Lusófona in Lisbon, Portugal. She will share with us her research on Centauri Cave Honey, a remarkable Turkish cave honey known for its potent anti-inflammatory and therapeutic properties. We are grateful for your participation and looking forward for engaging discussion following the presentation. And Professor Rijo, the floor is all yours. We don't hear you, you're muted.
Thank you, Nemanja. Let me see if I can share screen. Do you see?
Yes.
Okay, let me put you. No. You continue seeing, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you, all of you. Some we met. Some of you we met in Lisbon 2 weeks ago, and it was very intense. So we didn't. I didn't have time to speak more, considering the cost session, to be more involved, considering the organization. But I hope I can work more and be more involved in the cost action in the next meeting, and I hope I can go. So the work that I'm going to present today is a work that one of my PhD students, that is now that she already delivered the thesis. It was Marcia Philippe. In that time she went to Greece and present you a little part of this work. In that time it was not yet published. I work with natural products chemistry. I'm not a specialist in honey or honey products, but I'm going. I work with many natural product sources, and from animals we have here the honey products, and I'm since it is a source of animals. I'm working now more with honey, but now I have also some samples with propolis, and we work also for food, but what is my research is more involved considering the therapeutic and medicinal properties of natural products, in this case for honey. So what I'm going to present is something that I work closely with Soraya Falcão. And yes, for her, she's a specialist of honey, and I'm thanking for her help, and still now we are continue doing this research. So this Centauri Cave Honey, I have been working because it's a Turkish from Turkey, and this cost action has a lot of Turkish researchers, and so please make me some questions if I can answer. But what I'm going to present is the results that we obtain. We want to do more, so please, I'm looking for collaborations for this honey also, and I hope that we can speak a little bit more by the end. So this Centauri honey, as I told you, is from Turkey. It's a cave honey, and it's extracted from a high altitude, 2,700 meters altitude above the sea level. So it is obtained from a deep cave that only professional speleologists, and I'm going to show you some images. There are also some film, I don't have time to show you here, but that gives you an idea of how difficult it is to obtain this honey, this cave honey. And it is only obtained once a year when we can get, or the company Centauri Honey can get the speleologists that that have the way to go for this cave, which is located in the Caucasus Mountains of Turkey. As I told you, the majority of this work that I present here is already published last year with the team of Professor Vilas Boas and also, of course, Soraya Falcão, which is here. So if you have more doubts or more questions considering this, please go and see this food science paper that we already published. So this Centauri honey won the 2021 Guinness World Records, and this is about the most valuable honey in the world, is considering the way of Hamed, which is the CEO of this company, involved to produce this honey. It's very difficult to produce, and that's why the value goes high. It's really high, that's why it won the Guinness World of 2021, and but only him, because this is confidential. I have here some ideas of how it is produced. What we want is the scientific validate this valuable honey, considering nutritional, physical, chemical. So this was the objective for us in the first paper, and we are now going a little bit deep, considering the biological activities that we see. It has a great potential considering the anti-inflammatory in vitro, but what we want is to continue going work for in vivo work. So this, as I told you, it's confidential because the way he's producing, that the CEO says, it's unique. So this product has a demand, so it's only produced once a year, and what he gets, this gets the price higher. So he only produce if he has a good season 50 kilograms. The flora is what is involved in that the special area, and that's what he called the Centauri honey. So the phytogeographical regions are important. He established like this that we state here. Let me here. That's the information from the CEO, of course. And so what puts him the rare and uniqueness of this honey is considering the endemic, the rare plants that are in that area that are classified. So the Guinness World Records, when he had only the usual results for honey analysis that was analyzed by the CEO, by the company, and as you know and as you can see, the total phenol, flavonoids, and antioxidant activity was shown, was proved for the commercially available honey produced, that is in the commercial way too, and there's a link for that. So but this valuable honey also has, or is also aware of the medicinal properties that and every honey has. We are still waiting from the results from Soraya Falcão for the flavonoids and the volatile, and we hope this year we can publish this. But if you have more questions about this honey, please go for the link for the Centauri honey, which is available. So the concentration done by the company, what is produced and what are the analyses required, are presented here. It was presented, and we have a normal or concentration for the Centauri. But what we did for the CEO of this honey, that I want to bring to the cost section for him to present here, but I think that only if we can do a meeting in Turkey, hopefully he can go and give us more information, because those that I have are sent by the CEO and are here. So the commercial honey, it's this sample that we analyze, is the commercial one. And what we want for him is, because this is a cave honey, and so he did some experiments with the bees. So what he wanted was, if he's moving the samples from A to E of altitude, if they are different, and the deep cave of the located, or where the bees produce, are different also, what can we expect? In the visual color, we see that they are different, and they were obtained at different location. Some observations we have here, and we also have if they are mono or polyfloral, which is also in this table, and which is also published in our paper from Food Bioscience. So, with Professor Soraya Falcão, that are specialists in honey, and in Portugal they have a laboratory completely focused in honey, more in Portuguese honey, but of course we contact her because their lab are the specialists, is that we wanted to analyze from these samples what can we have, considering the physicochemical parameters. So the color that we see from visual is different, so we want to see if these physicochemical properties look different from color, from humidity, and also conductivity. What can be expected, considering the codex of 2001, of the color, of the flavor that can be related, and what is okay for having these samples different, but in scientifically speaking, what can we expect when we change? And we wanted to see what should be what can we expect, and what are the difference for having a good honey, but aligning with the scientific validation. So in this case, we focus with specialists in honey, what is important to maintain the physical, chemical, nutrition, and of course what we want is the quality. That was one of the topics and the objectives when we did the training school here in Lisbon. For the nutritional composition, we have also some parameters that are really important, and once again, this laboratory analysis was performed in Bragança, in Simo, in the lab where we obtained this in this time was done by the PhD student, which is Marcia Philippe, and she's working now in different natural sources, essential oils company, and she's the director of R&D of Scents from Nature. But in this case, which is also important for honey, what we were focused was in the ash, in the protein, as we can see in this table 4, but also the energy and the carbohydrates. We were expecting this. The quality was really important considering the botanical and geographical origin of the honey. And the protein is also important for quality because it gives us, if we have adulteration of authenticity markers, which is really important, and also to understand the indicators of quality. The energy and the carbohydrate content were very important also for us, but are important mainly for nutritional assessment. And also it has, in this case, the majority, and we publish in here in the paper from Food Bioscience, as we expected, the values were for fructose and glucose, which are the major sugars in the carbohydrate content of all the samples. So, considering the nutritional and quality and physicochemical parameters established for all the samples, we were now focused in the biological activity. Normally, if we have polyphenols, that's what we have, and we are expecting for all the contents of all the polyphenols and volatile components of all these samples. These are related for the biological activity. And one of the biological activity that we did in this first work was the antioxidant. We have now more antioxidant activity methods analyzed in the current work in the lab, but this was the first obtained from Simo lab. So the other activity was the antimicrobial. We didn't find any antifungal special activity. We didn't have many good results also for gram-positive and gram-negative, but we didn't publish this because the reviewers from our work considered that we were using a low concentration of honey. So in this case, we have new results from this. I'm not going to show you, but I'm going to explain to you what we have. We put the honey itself not diluted, and so in this case we have many good results for this, and especially for gram-negative bacteria that are related to resistance from other antibiotic, which it's one of my skills in the lab. And so we develop the antimicrobial activity that we are going to study more. And we want also, considering this, the resistance to antibiotics, and we have results for anti-biofilm formation, which is one of the ways of the bacteria to protect themselves from the antibiotics, and we have skills in this lab to perform this. As you know, we have, and in Portugal we also have these, we have some creams based on this antiseptic and wound healing for the skin. So this is very important for us, the antimicrobial activity, considering this, because we have products available, applied, and in clinics they use this cream because they have good results for wound healing, and we want to continue our research considering this. So the cytotoxicity is also important, and we test in as many cell cultures that we could with different laboratory for research, from Poland to Croatia, to different labs in Portugal, and we test in many, these are some examples. So the honey is not, it didn't show cytotoxicity. We have different, and we need to do this when we go further to have the safety value. So the cytotoxicity is one of the values to obtain. Considering the safety, we have also some in vivo works, and we have also important ecotoxicity good results to continue for the in vivo. So what we are focused now is to continue to in vivo. We since the honey we used for food, we can put it and use it and be accepted in our ethics commission, and that's what we want. We have also a good work considering these some products where we have this honey, and considering the in vivo works in humans, in patients. So the anti-inflammatory was also one of the other biological activities that we focus, and we understand that we had one of the good or potential results considering this. This was also done in cells, so that's why we need to always test the cytotoxicity in the same cells to have sure that we are not having mistakes in the evaluation of the results. And we see that it was promising, considering normally it's the phenolic compounds that can be involved in these anti-inflammatories. So we continue considering these promising results. So if we had the anti-inflammatory activity, we need to see if the cytotoxicity, and we test in two types of cells, lung cancer cells, this CALU3, but also the colon, normal colon cell lines, these FHC cells, where we had no cytotoxicity, and we can see this, for example, for the CALU. If we increase the concentration of the honey, we can have some low in viability of the cells. So even if it's the weakest effect that was observed in B, we wanted to work in, we choose this colon normal cell lines, the FHC, because even in high concentration of honey, we didn't have the lowering viability of the cells. So we still have a good viability of all the cells, and so we continue this in vitro cells for, so we choose here the FHC. So we test also the anti-inflammatory effect, and we did with LPS, which is a chemical that creates an inflammation, in this case in vitro. So we choose the cells of FHC, because when we did it in the CALU 3, so the lung ones, we see that what we want is to test the LPS that cause a damage to the cells, and we see here in the in not only in the cytokines but also the gene and protein level, IL-6 and IL-1 beta, and we see also the LPS and then LPS with the samples of the honey, and we test of course the honey isolated, but what we want is to see a kind of protection when we damage the cells with LPS, and when we put the LPS with the honey samples, we see that the damage is not so, it's not the same comparing with the LPS alone. So we see that we have a kind of protection of anti-inflammatory, or a potential anti-inflammatory, because this was our first results for this. And we have this for type of cell A, but also in D and E, which is the commercial one. So, but this was nice results for the A sample. This was for the CALU. So, but the CALU, we see that in the previous results that it has also, if we have higher concentration in honey, we can have a slight cytotoxicity. So it's more safe for us to work with the FHC in the normal colon cells. And once again, the sample A, D, and E showed a better protection of the anti-inflammatory effect when we use it in combination with the LPS that causes the inflammation, and we have interesting results once again for the sample A, D, and the commercial one, E. When we treat the cells, we want to know the protein and the gene values, as I showed you before, but these are cells, so we want to see and to have sure that the morphological changes on the cells, when we have the cell morphology, the normal one, without addition of any samples, that these changes are not relevant. So the cells maintain the confluence and maintain the normal morphology of the cells when treated with no treatment. Here we can see that they have morphological appearance of the cells when we have the honey that I showed you before, even in 1% or 5%, so of the honey A, the D, and the honey E, which is the commercial one. So the conclusions of the sample E, which is the commercial one, and also all the samples, is that the physical chemical, the quality parameters of all the samples that are implied with the color, moisture, conductivity, pH, and also acidity are okay. Let's see. They have the quality and physical chemical parameters considering the codex that are okay. And also we test in this first paper the biological activity for antioxidant, the antimicrobial. We didn't publish yet, but as I told you, we are going to show in this next paper that we are receiving some examples, and one of the promising results in this second paper is the antimicrobial activity. But for this work here already published, it was the anti-inflammatory activity that showed the most promising results and that were most relevant for us to publish, considering this Centauri honey with a potential agent to enhance. And what we want also is to have some immunoresponse. We have also these results that we are going to publish here, considering the E sample, which is the sample that is a commercial one. And also we have among with other bioactivity also the physicochemical parameters that are relevant to give the quality and also some anti-inflammatory effect of the commercial one sample, which is the one that if you pay this valuable money for it, you can have sure that you will have it. So the study of the Centauri consumption, we have also some works considering the prostate cancer, and we want to continue this for in vivo, as I told you, to understand if the honey that has some ambient and have also some questions considering the bees that produce this honey. We want to see also if it has more health benefits for human consumption. So we have the in vitro and prostate results for having, but what we want is more health benefits. So if you can help us also doing other biological activities mostly, I will thank you your collaboration. So what we have, the main results here was from my research center, which is CBIOS from Lusófona University. It was considering Marcia Philippe PhD, and she is already a PhD. She already did the defense of her PhD. Eva Domingues, which is my colleague, she has a position now in Alcalá de Henares University in Spain. Vera Isca, that you know, and is the one in charge of the antimicrobial activity that we will publish this year. The Tiago Granja, he was a CBIOS researcher. He now works also in Lusófona, but not in CBIOS anymore, but he's the one that is doing and has the supervision of the immuno results. The cell culture and cytotoxicity work, we have many collaboration with Porto, with Professor Lucília Saraiva, but she works more with cancer, and with Professor Przemysł Sitarek from Łódź University from Poland, that was involved in this anti-inflammatory potential, and also he is the supervision leader of the prostate cells evaluation. I want to thank also to Professor Lilian Barros from Instituto Politécnico de Bragança from north of Portugal. Of course, the lab and the specialist of the honey, which is the supervisor from Miguel José Vilas Boas, and also, of course, you know very well Soraya Falcão, that she's always working with us because she's the specialist from honey, at least in Portugal. And as you know from this cost action, she's very important considering mainly the chromatography results, and we are waiting for to reveal the phenolics and also the volatile components of this honey. And of course, I want to thank the CEO of Centauri Honey, Ahmet Aren Shakir, and I hope we can do a Turkey meeting, and in that time I think Ahmet will stay there with us. So the funding is very important for us to continue doing this. We have not only FCT, which is the Portuguese funding agency for research and development, but also Lusófona University, which is a private university. We have our own funding, and which is really important for us to continue when we don't have the lucky way to be winners in the projects awards and contents and projects that we all are going through. So I want to thank all your attention. Also, if you want to do some collaboration considering inflammatory activity that this honey showed activity, we want now to do some application in skins, because as I told you, the antimicrobial activity was one of our potential, and we want to continue for the antibiofilm and the wound healing, and we are now developing gelatin, some like a patch that we want to put in the skin when is healing, for example, and we want to see some kind of results. Of course, when we are dealing with therapeutics, first I think we need to go for in vivo for animals, but if we are using for a massage and when we use it to obtain other results, we already published some results here, but we are more in this case we use not only for food but also for skin works. Considering the foods, the CEO has developed now, because this is a valuable honey, a way to also have a different product, not only from E sample but also from A sample that we showed, to have good results also here in anti-inflammatory with gold. So the CEO has developed now a new product of this honey with gold, and I already eat, and it's look very good, more because the eyes also eat, and so when we see something very pleasant, it seems that the product also tastes better. And he also did some propolis, and as you know, the propolis has normally has more biological activity, and he also incorporates this propolis produced by the same way in the sample, and we are also doing not only the activity that I showed you with this presentation, but also considering these new products from the Centauri Honey company. So thank you all. I don't know if we have any questions, if I can give an explanation, and I thank you all for your attention.
Thank you a lot, Professor Rijo, for this wonderful presentation. I have one small question. How does the cave influence chemically the honey? Do you maybe know why is this honey, let's say, so special? What's in this cave that makes it special?
Yes, that's what we want to. Let me. Am I sharing? No.
No.
I would like to show the presentation, but no. Sorry. No, not this. How can I stop sharing? Well, chemically, we saw some differences when you go for the cave, and we see difference from that. The honey has some slight difference, and we see it. But what can I explain from the CEO that told me is what he wants is to have the bees protected from many diseases. The ferromite is one of the examples, but that's what he explained, is to have separate the bees from other influences, animals or other pests, other microorganisms, that to be separate from it and to be more healthy in this way. But I don't know if it's what it has. It's also let's say not important, but it's a note of attention. If you try to see the video that I told you, you have the video from the company showing how the speleologists go and need to pass to go for the honey, because they put the bees there, and then they go there just to recover the honey, which is dangerous because it's like, if you see the film, it's interesting just to see how they put the bees there and to collect the honey. And for me, I think is that makes increasing the price. Of course, what the CEO says, that is a different honey. And what I'm looking for is what is your question, is can I see scientifically what is the difference when they produce the honey like this? But for me, of course, it looks like the way they produce, because there are other cave honeys, but not in such a dangerous cave, because it's like in the mountains. Only the speleologists can go there. Even the CEO is not going there. Then he treats the honey in the usual way, I think, but they put the way they put the bees there to be separate. I think it's the way they want for the honey to be more healthy, because they stay there and they only get the honey once a year.
Okay. Thank you for your answer. I think we have one question in the comments. We have questions from Kairi Raime. Hello, thank you for very interesting presentation. Have you also analyzed the botanical or microbial composition of this honey using the DNA metagenomic or DNA metabarcoding method?
Well, as I told you, the CEO showed me that he did this, but the DNA methodology that this researcher is suggesting, I think, should be interesting, because I know it's a way to prove and to see what he thinks it is, scientifically to validate. I think it's very important. But what I know is what the CEO gave me, these numbers, so I don't know. But the DNA, I don't think it was done. But I will be very happy to deliver some samples for if you could do it and to analyze and to have this DNA method of the honey.
Okay.
The botanical microbial composition. The botanical, yes, because he also sent me this. Microbial composition, no, I don't know. Only what is important to commercialize the product, I think.
Thank you for the answer. We have one more question from Sevcan Selenk. Hi, thank you for very much for the presentation. Do you know which bees ecotype produces this honey?
Yes. Once again, I only have what the CEO gives me. He only say that is these bees. I don't know how it gets. That's why I think if we could do, because I know that Turkey is one of the countries that are more involved in this cost action. If we could do a meeting or a working group meeting, something in Turkey, even if it's not related to the topic of this type, I think should be interesting for the CEO to be with us, with the researchers, and to have more suggestions and comments to analyze, because as I told you, I'm a natural products chemistry, and he gives me what he gives me was this. So I don't know more information considering that, but I think it all the help should be interesting for to help this producer.
Thank you. Do we have any more questions? We have many thanks from Hairi, Sevcan also. Well, I suppose if there are no more questions, I would like to thank you again, Professor Patricia, for joining us, for giving us this
Thank you.
presentation, and
Thank you, me.
thank you everybody who joined today. And see you next month, or probably the next after, because in the August people are on vacation, and we'll see if we are able to organize the webinar in August. So
Yes.
thank you, and
Happy holidays to everyone.
happy holidays to everyone.
Also,
Bye
thank
bye.
you. Many thanks. Bye bye.